This video presents information regarding achieving your goals, the path to successful homeownership. In this presentation, we will give you an overview about Heritage Housing Partners and provide you with basic information about how our affordable homeownership programs work. Heritage Housing Partners was formed in 1998 and since then has developed over 200 units of affordable homeownership opportunities. The following slides show some of the examples of these projects. Fair Oaks Court, built in 2009, is located in Pasadena and offers 42 affordable homeownership units. Doran Gardens was built in 2012 and offers 57 affordable homeownership units in Glendale, California. Guilford Court was a smaller project of 11 affordable homeownership units built in Whittier, California in 2017. Highland Mews was a small project built in 2017, which includes 3 rehabilitated units in a historic church. Summit Grove is a project that was finished in 2018 and is our most recent homeownership development of 21 low and moderate income units located in Pasadena, California. Coming soon, we'll have approximately 62 new homes through 2021 that will be available for homeownership opportunities to low and moderate income homebuyers. First, we will have Decker Court and Gill Court, which represent 9 homes and 7 homes in Pasadena, California, totaling 16 affordable homeownership opportunities for low-income buyers. Lincoln and Orange Grove, the following year, will provide 46 homes for low, moderate, as well as middle-income or workforce households. Slide 13 shows the process of how to buy a home from Heritage Housing Partners. This process shows all the steps. The first and most important step is that applicants or people interested in buying an affordable home from Heritage Housing Partners should join the HHP interest list. That is done quite easily by going to the website hhplist.org. That's www.hhplist.org. When you register on the interest list, you will provide your name and household size and approximate household income. We will use this information to communicate with you about training opportunities, education opportunities, and application opportunities to purchase affordable homeownership units that come available. After that, the next step is to get educated. You're in the process right now of getting educated by watching this video. Following your education and understanding of the affordable homeownership program, you will get your finances ready. We have additional resources to help you with planning for your finances, including credit repair and learning how to save money for your down payment, which are available through Heritage Housing Partners and our other partners. You can get information about these programs through our website. When homes are available, we will notify interested applicants through the email notice. That is why it's important to sign up on hhplist.org. Once applications become available, you will submit an application containing information that will allow us to verify that you are program approved or can be program approved, and also information that will help you to get a home loan mortgage approval. If you were selected if you were indicated to be or found to be program eligible and you are eligible to get a home loan, then we will put you into the finalist pool, and if you were selected for one of the final home ownership opportunities, you'll select your home and finalize escrow, and then finally you'll purchase your home and move in. As shown on the slide, the amount of time that it takes varies based on applicant for the first half of the process. Some people are ready to apply right away based on their finances and their eligibility, and for others it might take a while for them to work on their credit and finance readiness. But once the applications are out and applications are received, it takes about 6 months from the time of application to the time of moving in. It's important to note on the next slide that the programs require that you both be eligible for the affordable homeownership program and that you also get a loan approval. You must be both qualified for the affordable homeownership program and approved for a home loan. We have great financing resources to work with you to help you get the home mortgage. Let's talk a little bit about of the Affordable Homeownership Program and the key program requirements. In general, what is affordable housing? Well, first and foremost, we believe it's something for everyone. As shown on slide 18, these are the faces of the types of folks who buy our homes, which basically means everybody. We believe that affordable homeownership is something that everyone should be able to achieve, and we work with all members in our communities to achieve that goal, help them achieve that goal. But more importantly, it's a type of government program. Affordable housing is a type of government program. In our case, we're doing something called Affordable Home Ownership Programs, or AHOP, A-H-O-P. That's an acronym that we use to describe these programs. So whenever you hear us talk about AHOP, that's an Affordable Home Ownership Program, and that's what Heritage Housing Partners does. We typically have not done rental housing in the past. Our focus is on affordable home ownership opportunities. So what is an AHOP program? Well, an AHOP program is a set of program concepts. Let's start generally and then go into the specifics. Affordable home ownership is basically programs that are limited to households in certain eligible income ranges, and we'll talk more about what those eligible income ranges are in a moment. It's also a program a government subsidy program that helps to make affordable housing affordable based on spending a reasonable share of your income on housing. That's a very important idea, that it's really about spending a reasonable share of your income. And then lastly, it's programs that focus on solving for an affordable monthly housing cost. So the idea behind it is not so much a certain price, but that for people who are in certain eligible income ranges, the program tries to create a monthly housing cost which represents a reasonable share of their income, their gross income. In specific, though, what are the AHOP requirements? Well, first and foremost, you must be a first-time home buyer. Number one, you must be a first-time home buyer. Now, for the program, that really just means that you have not owned a home in the last 3 calendar years. So if you've previously owned a home and you sold it, or perhaps you had a foreclosure, or you lost it, or had a change of situation, if you've owned a home in the past, that's fine so long as it was more than 3 years ago. Number two, homeowner households must be income eligible at the time of the purchase of the home. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but that means that your household gross income needs to be in a certain range. Number three is very important. You must intend to occupy the house and continue occupying the house. It must be homeowner occupied. You're not permitted to rent out the home. Number four, there are certain resale restrictions which apply to the transaction. So in the future, you can live there as long as you like, but when you want to sell the home, you have certain obligations to communicate with Heritage Housing Partners or with our partner city organizations or agencies to give us an opportunity to purchase the home back so we can maintain the affordability for the next home buyer. And then lastly, number five, that these AHOP programs require there be special junior loans required on title. We'll talk more about that as well. So as I mentioned, first-time home buyer, that's easy. It just means you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. And this includes any type of residential real estate. You can't have owned a primary home or a vacation home or rental apartment or anything like that. We don't want, the government, the programs are not intended to work with folks who have any kind of residential real estate. And this is in your household. So if you don't own a home but your spouse owns a home, well, that's considered to be a home that you own. So really the people in your household that you're applying as a household should not have previously owned a home in the last 3 tax years. The homeowner household must be in the income eligible range at the time of purchase. And the next slide talks about that first in general, and then we'll talk about it in specific. So what is an eligible income range? Well, as this bar graph shows, there's a lot of different ways that the government defines income targets for affordable housing. The yellow and the blue bars are the ones that we focus on at HHP. Anything below 120% of area median income is generally considered to be affordable housing. The types of developments that we do typically focus on low income and moderate income, and that means that those buyers would be between 50% and 120% of the median income for the county. In this case, we're in Los Angeles County, so the area median income simply means the statistic that indicates the middle income for all the households in the county of Los Angeles. Middle equals median. We also occasionally have some programs for households that have median incomes over 120% of area median income. Historically, that's been considered to be market rate housing, but there are increasingly opportunities that we're pursuing to try to offer affordable home ownership opportunities for folks who might be above 120% of area median income. So what does this really mean in numbers? The next slide shows a table for 2019 that indicates the dollar amounts represented by these percentages. So if you look down the first column, find out how many people will be in your household when you're purchasing your home. So if you are going to be buying the home and there'll be 3 persons living there with you, and this counts any person from 0 age to any age. Everybody that's going to be physically living in the home would count towards your household size. If you were a 3-person household and you had income that was between $47,000 and $75,149, you would be considered eligible for low-income affordable homeownership opportunities. If your income was between $75,150 and $112,800, you would be in the moderate range, and then above that, you would be up to 150% of area median income. You would be considered to be middle income or workforce housing eligible. That green column is a column I mentioned earlier, is a new area of affordable housing policy and funding, and there are limited opportunities, but we're working on providing more. So really, you should look at this slide and look down the first column and see how many people in your household when you buy the home or plan to buy the home, and then look across the columns to see what your current gross income is, and that way you can figure out what income range you would be in. So what kind of income matters? Calculating eligible income. It really matters that we consider all income and we consider all current income. So it's not looking at your past income, it's not looking at your tax returns, it's really looking at your current gross income. So if your gross income was $3,000 a month, then you make $36,000 a year. And a lot of times people are not really thinking about what their gross income is because we all live based on what we get in our net paycheck. So you really do need to look at your paycheck stubs and kind of look at what your gross income is and consider that. What we do is we look at your last 2 months of income and we project forward. So when you get ready to apply, we'll be looking at your most recent income periods and we will be projecting that forward. So if you're paid monthly, we'll average the 2 months and then multiply by 12 and etc. Now realize that the income is for all persons in the household who are 18 years or older. Okay, so if that means that if you're an employee, this is on page 33, that you would use your gross income before any deductions. So if you make deductions for your health care or you make deductions for retirement, unfortunately, we can't remove those from your gross income. That's part of your gross income. So if you get a W-2 at the end of the year for your taxes, you're considered to be an employee. If you're a homemaker, if you're retired, if you're unemployed, disabled, no earned income, you still have income through things like Social Security, disability, pensions, retirement income, and et cetera. And we would count these as part of your income. So for example, maybe there's 2 people who are working in the household, and maybe there's a child, and maybe there's an elderly parent living in the household. That would be a household of 4. We would count the income from the 2 working parents, as well as we would count any retirement or Social Security or other payments that are being made to the elderly parent living in the household. That's very important to realize. So for example, there's a form here that allows you to help you calculate your income and just breaks down the various components that we look at. Also, when we're getting ready for applications for various projects, we will have workshop opportunities where you can go through and do this hands-on exercise with us. But if you follow along the logic here, it just is asking you for, well, what kind of pay, how often are you paid, weekly, biweekly, and so on, and helps you to project it forward to an entire year. Remember, you should do this worksheet for every person over 18 years of age in your household that is receiving income. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, if you have other income like second job, public assistance, and so on, you should be including that, and you just estimate your monthly income from that, and that would be your total income for the year. What happens if you're self-employed or you own a business? Well, in that case, we would then use your self-employment income, and we look at your net income after business expenses. So the gross income that you get from your business, you have business expenses, and you would net those business expenses out before reporting your income. So that's just a different approach that's used for people who own their own business. And we look at your current year-to-date income for self-employed. So depending on when you're applying to purchase, you should be prepared to provide us with a year-to-date profit and loss statement so that we can then do a projection forward to see what your income would be for that year. So in addition, getting back to the general obligations of an affordable homeownership program, you cannot rent the unit. You must be home. The home must be occupied by you, by the homeowner. Now, that doesn't mean that certain people in your household can't come and go, but the people who are on title as the purchaser of the home need to reside in the home. So if you have folks who are living in your household that move out, as long as they're not the actual named entity, named person on title who's paying the mortgage, then there's no further test on that. But if you're the owner of the house, you do need to live there. Resale restrictions apply, and why do resale restrictions apply? Well, this is because the government and us as a nonprofit want to have these homes be available for affordable homeownership usage for a long period of time. As we'll talk about in a second here with junior loans, when you purchase these homes, there are 45-year restrictions placed on them, and one of the major restrictions is that you can sell them whenever you want, but when you sell the home, you need to follow certain procedures. And one of the major procedures is that you notify us as Heritage Housing Partners or the city that we're partnering with and let them know that you want to sell the house. We will then offer you, we will purchase it back from you at the new affordable sales price. More on that later, but we basically buy it back from you at the same terms, a different price, but the same basic terms that it was sold to you, so we can sell it to the next affordable home owner. Lastly, you have to agree through these affordable home ownership programs that there will be a special junior loan that will be recorded on title. As shown on this slide, there are multiple components to the project financing of your future affordable home. That's why there are requirements for junior mortgages. So the slide here shows a stacked series of boxes, and along the left side, the words development cost. The total of all these boxes, your down payment, your first mortgage, and the junior mortgages, that is equal to the total development cost of the project. So if it costs us $500,000 to build an affordable home, you probably can't afford to pay $500,000, but the costs need to be paid. So how does that work? Well, we set an affordable sales price based on what you can afford to pay, and that is based on the setting a price based on a reasonable share of your income, generating a reasonable housing cost every month, and then from that we determine what a reasonable sales price is that could be supported by all that. So that's really shown here as your down payment and your first mortgage. Above that, you're seeing an orange bar, which is called junior mortgages. Well, that's what we call a silent subsidy. Because of the fact that your affordable sales price only represents between maybe 40 to 60% of the total cost of developing the unit, our nonprofit goes out and works with governments and other private interests to find subsidy money to pay for the rest of the development. Now, these subsidies go on title as part of the transaction, but they are not things that you need to pay every month. So they will have a term with them of a certain number of years, usually 45 years, but they will not require that you pay any payment every month. So all you're doing is paying your principal and interest on your first mortgage that's paying for your affordable sales price, and then these silent subsidies are sitting on title as junior mortgages. Now, what happens to these junior mortgages when you decide to sell the home? Well, it depends. If you're reselling the home before 45 years is up, then, as I mentioned earlier, you would notify us as Heritage Housing Partners or our city partner, and we would execute on our first right of refusal to purchase the home back from you. And that will be all described in your loan documents, but basically the idea is we'll buy it back from you, and we will then find a new affordable home buyer that can benefit from this affordable homeownership opportunity. In such cases as where we're buying it back from you, those orange, the loans represented by the orange boxes, the junior mortgages, are just rolled over to the next buyer. So there's no obligation for you to pay them off. There's also an alternative scenario, which could be that you live in the house for 45 years, or your heirs live in the house for 45 years, and then the restrictions on the affordability of the home are expiring. And at the end of that 45-year term, though, there will be a requirement that you repay the junior mortgages. So if you're lucky enough to be living there in 45 years, then you would have the obligation to pay off those junior mortgages. How might that be done? Well, by the time in the future, 45 years out, the home is probably worth much more money. And because it's more than 30 years out, you probably no longer have a mortgage on the property. So you could refinance the property and you could pay off those junior mortgages. In reality, most people don't stay in the same house for 45 years. And it has been our experience that when people resell, they simply notify us and we purchase it back, and we will sell it to the next eligible, qualified, affordable homeownership household. So that's a lot to take in, but in summary, the affordable homeownership requirements checklist is shown here. Must be a first-time home buyer. You must be in the income eligible range, which we showed you some samples of, but realize that every spring of each year those change, so make sure that you contact us for the most recent up-to-date income ranges. You must occupy the home. You cannot rent it. And there are resale restrictions that apply, which we've discussed. And as part of the financing of the home, there will be special junior loans required. So I hope that presentation has provided you with a good idea of what affordable homeownership programs are all about. There's a lot of information to take in, and also you need to make a decision for yourself. Is this the kind of program that's right for me and my family? There's definite pros and cons to it, but that's something you need to decide for yourself. If you would like to proceed with an affordable homeownership opportunity, what do you do next? Well, returning to our earlier slide, it's important to see what your next steps are based on this process. So hopefully by now you've joined the HHP interest list, and you've listened to this video, so you're educated in general about what the homeownership program opportunities are. You should think about what your personal finances are, and see if maybe you need some assistance with getting ready to purchase and getting your finances in order. In general, we recommend that people have a 640 credit score, and that you have savings of approximately $10,000 to $13,000 to be able to qualify and have the necessary funds to close. So if you feel confident that the program is for you and that your finances are in good shape to be able to apply and be successful, then the next step would be for you to apply when homes become available. And as mentioned earlier, we will email you when homes are available for application. Sometimes we have a lot of homes at one time when we're building a new project, but also we often have resales. As I mentioned, a big part of the component of the program is the resale of previously owned homes. So we will have those, and when they're available, we will let people know. So there could be a home available tomorrow, and if you're ready to apply today, you might find yourself able to continue the process almost immediately. Once you apply, then you need to get program approved. So what does that mean? That means that we will look at your application and measure it against all the things that I introduced you to, the eligible income ranges for your household size, the fact that you're a first-time home buyer as defined by the program, et cetera, and we will make a determination whether your household is eligible for the program. After that, you'll get your home loan approval, and we don't have you do a home loan approval until we know that you're actually eligible and that you can successfully complete the program. After that, We would then prioritize all those applications based on criteria that's provided to us by all of our city partners, and we would offer homes in order of priority, and you would select your home and you would enter escrow. After about probably 60 to 90 days of being in escrow, your escrow would close and you would move into your new home. So in summary, I would just say get ready. As this slide shows, we do have additional resources to get ready. So if you're not entirely sure whether you're financially ready, or if you have more questions about what homeownership means or what affordable homeownership means, please use these resources to try to reach out and learn more. The more that you know, the better off you're going to be. And we are a resource for you to answer additional questions. But it's great when folks come in the door and have already done some research and some education, so their questions are even more formulated. So to see those resources, you can go to our website, hphousing.org/get-ready, and you'll be directed to a web page that has information about tasks that you can do to get ready. We recommend a couple here. One, compile and save your income documentation. If you're the kind of person who says, well, I got my paycheck, I can throw it away now, maybe you should start saving your paycheck stubs so when the application window opens, you'll have the necessary documentation to be able to respond to the application. You should maybe run your credit report. We'd love for you to get a sense of what your credit score is right now and see if that's something that is in good shape, or if not, you might want to work on that. There's plenty of places to do that for no charge. One is freecreditreport.com. In addition, our lenders that we work with will often run a free credit report for you. Next, I would really encourage you to go ahead right now and complete what's called a Housing and Urban Development, that's HUD, First-Time Homebuyer class. That's an 8-hour class that goes through all the details of becoming a homebuyer. It doesn't specifically focus just on affordable homeownership. It focuses on all the steps and processes, obligations, pros and cons that come with homeownership of any type. So if you're considering becoming a homeowner, it's really a great workshop for you to take advantage of. There are many nonprofits listed on our website that offer free HUD 8-hour first-time homebuyer classes. In addition, you do get some bonus points on our scoring criteria sheet when you apply if you've already taken that class. It is also an obligation and requirement of anyone who buys a home from us to complete that. So you're going to do it sooner or later, so you might as well do it sooner and be all the more educated. So again, thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. We hope that it's been helpful in explaining what Heritage Housing Partners does and what some of the major components of the Affordable Homeownership Program regulations are. Please note that this is an overview, and as you get to learn more, we'll talk with you in more specifics about the details. And for each project that you apply for, these regulations will be slightly different. But generally what we've presented to you today are the core ideals and ideas and requirements of affordable homeownership.